Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. This is the 56th video of Haiyang's Practice Proverb series. All of the proverbs covered in this series are my original creations meant to preserve training knowledge in a proverb format to benefit present and future generations of practitioners. If you are new to this channel, please take some time to check out my content. You will find a lot of useful information about internal style martial arts and Xiudao practice. Following the same structure as in previous weeks, I will answer questions first about last week's proverb and then move on to the new one. So let's recap last week's proverb first. It was 放松之时，身体之力要下达涌泉，然身体直立如山，乃是真松。Translation: When relaxing, the whole body power should reach the Yongquan point, where the body stands as a mountain, which is the state of real martial relaxation. Now, let me answer a question asked by our community members. Bob Case asks, I've always been curious about the elbows. In Tai Chi, we are generally told to relax, which implies thinking to me. The elbows, but when I see people do 站桩, their elbows are often high, even level with the shoulders. Is that the correct alignment in your opinion? And if so, what is its purpose? It is a good question, and in the beginning, I did not feel like answering it as my answer might upset somebody since they believe the elbow should always physically drop down like a withered flower. Regardless, I will answer it for you and for the community. If someone wants to be upset, then that's his problem. So, to answer your question, it doesn't matter where you put your elbow, since physical position does not reflect the martial energy that is generated in the practice. More importantly, martial art practice is to be able to manage martial energy while the positioning of the physical parts may vary dramatically. The problem is that some people do not have enough cultural and linguistic knowledge, but pretend to be the expert to interpret martial terms such as 坠肘 or thinking the elbows. To a martial artist who grew up in China and has been practicing the art since childhood like myself, that kind of misinterpretation reflects a total lack of understanding. To argue in support of it is childish, and then to further plot personal attacks is downright unethical. So please be very careful when you see someone claim to provide interpretations of martial terms. Bob Case, your observation reflects your attention to different situations of practice, and your question is great. I hope I answered your question. Thank you for asking. Now, let's move on to today's proverb. Very often, we hear the term 手脚齐到 or hand and foot arrive at the same time. So, what is it? How to practice it? Today's proverb will answer these questions. It is 身法第一妙药，乃是手脚到时身必到。练时大多身先手后，用时大多手先身后。There are 4 sentences organized into 3 parts. I will translate the Chinese version word by word and then introduce the English version. Also, I hope you will pay attention to these Chinese versions of terms so you can use them in communication in the future. It is worth noting that this proverb is an advanced one. Beginners may have a hard time understanding it. The first part, 身法第一妙药乃是手脚到时身必到。身法 means body method, which means the practice of how to manage different body parts in martial arts. 第一 means the first, the most. 妙药 means important subtlety, important principle. 乃是 means just is. 手脚 means hands and feet, which represent limbs. 到时 means one arrive. 身 means body. 必 means must. 到 means arrive. Put together, it means the most important principle of the body method is that the body should arrive at the right place together with the limbs. In other words, the limbs and the body should coordinate in movements. So, does this mean the body and the limbs move together mechanically? Of course, the answer is no. Then, what is the relationship between body and limbs in terms of arrival time? It will be answered in the following part. Let's continue. The second part, 练时大多身先手后. 练时 means one practicing. 大多 means mostly. 身 means body. 先 means first. 手 means hands, but here it represents limbs. 后 means later. Put together, it means one practicing martial movements. Mostly, the body arrives earlier, followed by the limbs. Now, how about other situations? Let's continue. The third part, 用时大多手先身后. 用时 means one applying, and it represents martial application situations. 大多 means mostly. 手 means hands, and here it represents limbs. 先 means first. 身 means body. 后 means later. Put together, it means in martial application, mostly limbs arrive first, then the body arrives. Now, let's talk about it a bit further. When hear the term 手脚齐到 in martial arts, which means hands and feet arrive at the same time. So it's planned in many of my prior videos that it means that the martial energy of hands and feet arrive at the same time, but not the physical hands and feet. In today's proverb, I created this one to explain the relationship between the body and the limbs in terms of martial energy execution or 发劲. There is no doubt that theoretically the martial energy of limbs and the body should arrive at the same time. However, in reality, physical movements of these parts, including hands, feet, and the body, cannot arrive at the same time, or else our physical movements will become robotic. Mechanical accomplishments of this is just impossible due to the complexity of the human body. So, I created this proverb to express the relationship between limbs and the body in terms of physical movements for 发劲 action. There are two situations here, including movements practice and martial application. In practicing martial arts movement, the body leads the action. So, as a result, the body mostly acts first, then the limbs follow the body movements. But in martial application, it is the opposite, that the limbs mostly act first, then the body arrives at the right place. This is the core concept of this proverb. In short, the body and the limbs do not move at the same time, but the martial energies are released at the same time. In other words, to ensure the coordination of martial energy executions made by the body and the limbs, different body parts mostly act in different sequences physically. It is a very advanced topic, and I hope you will pay close attention to it. Now, let's recap this proverb. The most important principle of a 身法 body method is that the body energy should arrive while the hands and feet arrive. In practice, it is mostly body first and limbs later. In application, mostly limbs first and body later. That brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you all found this proverb and explanation informative, and I hope it benefits your practice. Please post your questions about this proverb in the comment section. I will answer them for you in the first part of next week's video. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and enjoy your practice.